All right, we have Beven on the left and Inservins on the right. Beven going for a cheeky throwing knife here. The Hoarfrost Stomp comes out from the side of Beven, keeping Inservin at a distance. Both players trying to go in. Okay, we see a little bit of a trade there. Interesting. Of course, this matchup is very, very tough, I feel like, on the side of Beven, because he has to get so close when it comes to the fists. Of course, he can maintain that pressure with those ultra-fast running attacks. Just insane amounts of damage with the trading here. Both players knowing very well that both setups have an incredible amount of damage behind them.
Hey, let me
Beven
know
trying
when
to...
sorry, let me know in
Yep,
chat
no, go
how
on.
the sound is. I got the volume for the game on 4, so that should be right. But if there's any issues, let me know and
Yep,
we'll
make sure
change
all
it.
the
But it
audio
should be
mixing is
fine.
good. Yep.
Yeah, 4 should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about the camera. These guys are everywhere.
Ooh, brutal backswing on the side of Inservins there. Beven has to be very, very careful, but so does Inservins because Beven is in red and blue feather range.
Oh, they're
Oh
both...
my word. The trade for the throwing darts, dude. And Inservin just barely slips away with like 14. Once again, Beven on the left and Inservin on the right. Both players physicking up. Beven going for a cheeky frost pot.
Beautiful.
Did manage to get the frost proc.
Oh, gorgeous.
Beautiful roll catch on the neutral R2 there from the side of Beven. Just playing it super, super safe. A little bit of a Hoarfrost Stomp chip. Beven goes in. Incredible pressure from the side of Beven, but Inservin is able to answer back with that jumping L1 for 518 damage. Beven's still trying to maintain a little bit of pressure, just playing in the pocket, you know, going in, going out, trying to find that ranging. Beautiful spacing on the outspace of the neutral L1 on the side of Beven. Beautiful pressure, just interrupting, but Beven does get a little bit too greedy and takes a little too many L1s to the face. Let's see if Beven will be playing a little bit, more reserved, but
Is that
manages
cold
to
infused
catch.
thing there?
It definitely does look like it, yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Once again, Beven on the left and Inservins on the right. Both players going for their physics here. We see a little bit of a cheeky... What was that? Oh, looked like Spellproof Dried Liver on the side of Inservins. Okay. Both players just trying to find their way in. Get a little bit of chip, half hit on the side of Beven there with the running R1.
Beautiful knife.
Oh my word. Beven being extremely aggressive with this fish, showing that I'm not afraid to trade with you. Both players trying to find their way in here, going for a cheeky frostpot on the side of Beven. That's beautiful. Baiting out the whiff on the neutral L1 on the side of Inservin from Beven. That was very, very nice. Beven just being unrelenting with that aggression. Once again, like I said before in the previous rounds, playing in that pocket, just beautifully outspacing the neutral L1s that he knows so well, because Beven, in the past, he's mained PSSS more so. I think he has more time on PSSS than any other setup in the game, so he's very intimately
Beautiful
familiar
rolls
with
here.
that. Yeah, I agree from the side of Inservin. My word, Inservin needs to be very careful here. Yep, and just gets nuked with the extremely fast, extremely commendable from both of these players here. All right, and we get the bolt out and underway. Both players going for the physic. Beven on the left and Inservin on the right. Goes for the boiled crab on the side of Inservins. All the while, Beven taking the time to actually utilize Glintblade Phalanx on the two-handed halberd,
So I'm
which is
guessing
very,
that can't
very
shoot the
interesting.
host because of the invisible wall between us?
Yes, indeed. Yep, that is one of the many reasons for that being there. Okay, so... Oh man, just keeps getting clipped with that running R1, Inservins does. But that was a beautiful jump turnaround.
Oh, nice.
Incredible. Oh, but Inservins is dangerously high on the side of Frost Proc. Oh, that actually did Frost Proc him. That is very, very dangerous on the side of Inservins here. He's going to need to time those L1s extremely well. That was beautiful follow-ups on the side of Inservins. Right there, catching Beven's aggression when he's coming in. Inservin needs to be very, very careful here. I assume he's going for some ring swaps, trying to get down to red and blue. That was a beautiful tag on the side of Inservin's, catching that and outspacing the R2. Was that a trade?
Yeah.
Wow, we have our first tie match of the... And the bolt comes out. We have Beven on the left, Inservin's on the right. Going for the daggers. Both players get their physics off. Beautiful neutral L1, being able to roll out of that. Got to watch the corner pressure, though. Beautiful tag with the follow-ups.
Nice, 800 there.
Manages to land 3 of the L1s. That was beautiful. And just like I said, being able to answer back, that is incredible. That's what you need to do against that setup. And Inservin is adapting spectacularly well on the fly amidst all of these matches, and
I'm seeing
definitely
lightning
getting potentially. I'm not entirely sure.
I thought I did. Yeah, I see something. So he's playing Dex. He's got 1 regular, 1 lightning.
Ooh. Inservin definitely does get the cold proc there, but manages to get the bolus off. That was spectacular on the side of Inservin's. Inservin's definitely has the leg up here, but he needs to make sure that Beven doesn't get any free damage off. Everything needs to be a trade if he wants to get ahead here. Both players' tiers are procced, it looks like. Very even on the HP front from both players. This is a very dangerous position for both players to be in. We have Inservin keeping him away with those neutral L1s. That is spectacular. Ooh, manages to eat that running R1, but Inservin is in red and blue feather range, so he could potentially get a one-shot off here on Beven if he times it properly.
Beautiful
but
running
those,
there.
Oh
nice.
My word, the third follow-up was beautiful. Gigabrain plays coming out from the side of Inservin, and he is able to round out the match with a throwing dart. Spectacular. Shoot out the bolt, Brenna. All right, once again, we have Beven on the left and Inservin on the right. Going for the frost pot on the side of Beven. Beautiful, manages to narrowly miss it, though. So I feel like both players are going to be a little bit more passive here. I say as Beven manages to get a jumping L1 in. Jumping R1, rather. But does not connect. Beautiful on the side of Inservin's there. Those neutral L1s, that spacing. He's being a little bit more reserved. Beven whiffs a running R1 and eats a L1 to the face. Absolutely brutal. My word, Inservin is just playing a lot better here. Not crumbling under the aggression that Beven was able to dish out earlier in the match. Beven is actually a little bit on the back foot here, it seems like. And just absolutely walks into that third L1. Let's see if Beven can potentially answer it back. No, he gets absolutely nuked on the roll away with the roll catch. Wow, what a commander, my friend.
Rock.
Okay, we have Floozutter on the right and Shieldpoke on the left. Flooz fumbling the the glintstone dart at the start of the match for the punish, but manages to get out the buff on the Health and Steeple. This is a very interesting matchup. Health and Steeple versus Curved Greatsword, what am I saying? Thrusting Sword, rather. Please excuse me.
I'll forgive you.
And as we know, yeah, as we know, Health and Steeple does insane damage, and while you have the buff on, it does build up frost, so that can be a very dangerous setup, especially with cold offstock. Yeah, Greatsword's got a massive buff in the most recent patch, so they're definitely very, very good, especially with offhand options. But against something as oppressive as a Thrusting Sword from the side of Shieldpoke, it's going to be very difficult for Flooz to get in without taking an answer back in the form of a trade. So, going forward, Flooz is going to have to be very, very aware of when she pushes, and be able to have that impeccable timing to be able to get in and get out. What a spectacular punish on the side of Shieldpoke, punishing the Health and Steeple L2. Fire out the bolts. Okay, both players going for their physics. Flooz actually getting off the glintstone dart from the dagger there this time, able to narrowly strafe that projectile on Sacred Blade. That was very, very nice on the side of Flooz. Flooz definitely has a little bit of a damage. Ooh, that was very close. Flooz going for the backswing there, but as I said before, the thrusting sword is just, that backswing is incredibly fast and was able to break the poise. Beautiful, beautiful outspace on the side of Shieldpoke there. Beautiful strafe, though, punishing with the dagger on the side of Flooz, answering back, albeit not for as much damage, but if she can continue to build up that frost proc, that will be her greatest asset when it comes to combating this thrusting sword here. Looks like the buff ran out on the side of Shieldpoke. That's one thing that Flooz does have an advantage over on Shieldpoke in terms of just the weapon buff specifically, is the health and steeple buff lasts, I believe, 20 seconds longer than the Sacred Blade buff does. So, Flooz actually making a little bit better of a call this time, able to not get punished with the Sacred Blade, going for the buff early. And both players, like I suspected, Flooz is trying to pick her moments, you know, a little bit more carefully this time.
60 more damage on the greatsword there.
Yep. Getting caught with that backswing, but gets tagged on the rollaway with the dagger. Beautiful trade there on the side of Flooz. That was
110.
spectacular. Once again, resetting to neutral.
Everywhere, all over the place.
Yeah. The movement is spectacular here, but Flooz has to be very careful, but so does Shieldpoke, because Flooz is in blue and red feather range, so the damage here is just going to be absurd. Looks like narrowly missed on the side of Floozutter. I think she may have gone for the free aim there and unlocked and missed, actually, which is unfortunate because I believe that would have been a trade otherwise. So Flooz is in a very dangerous spot here, has to aggress. That was very smart on the side of Flooz to keep Shieldpoke at bay, but managed to get tagged by that running R2 into follow-up R2 just to make sure everything's in order, you know? Oh, did you mean to fire?
Yep, we're going.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay, Flooz, both players do... Ooh, massive punish on the side of Shieldpoke, getting that Sacred Blade off on Floozutter. Very unfortunate there. Beautiful roll, though, on the side of Flooz, because that recovery is so low after the improvements. Oh, man. The thrusting sword is just brutalizing the startup frames. It's not fast enough, and the corner pressure, but beautiful answer backs from the side of Flooz. Beautiful roll catch after that initial R1.
Get him.
Coming out of that that extremely precarious situation, being locked in the corner like that, that is extremely dangerous, and to be able to answer back and be able to come out of that with a punish.
Oh, jumping R2 there.
Beautiful.
Roll catch.
Beautiful. Gets the running R2 into the true combo. Beautiful. Flooz is not done yet, folks. All right. So, both players trying to find their way in once again.
Oh
Beautiful one-handed R2, that range. Flooz showing off the range. Spectacular. Oh, and gets caught with the running R2. And
okay. Let's go, babies.
See both players going for their physics here. A spellproof dried liver on the side of BronDaGoat to try and potentially combat the frostbite, because Enda does like to run cold on his Hall Dagger setup. So definitely, Enda's playing in close.
Hits.
That was beautiful. The interrupt on the neutral L1 from the attack attempt, the aggression attempt on the side of BronDaGoat. That was a very good spacing attempt. I assume maybe the latency's not so bad. Ooh, gets caught with the backswing on the roll catch too. Twice in a row on the side of EndaTheLion, going for the trade. Enda really needs to be a little bit more aggressive here, but with a player with spacing as good as Bronze is, it's very difficult for him to actually get in and potentially get that frost proc on him. And as we saw too, the spellproof dried liver is doing work as to combating the magic damage on the cold infusions. That was a beautiful mix-up on the side of...
I think he only got like one of the straight sword hits a second ago.
Ooh, and gets caught on the jump-in. Absolutely brutal. And as we know, PSSS is an extremely difficult of BronDaGoat. And the second match here is underway, both players going for their physic. The spellproof dried liver coming out from the side of BronDaGoat once again. We have EndaTheLion going for a cheeky trade there. Oh,
Nice.
Beautiful roll catch.
Got the
Beautiful running
frost.
R2. Nice. And that, yes, Enda getting the Frost proc there is going to be his equalizer. He is able to actually potentially out-trade BronDaGoat now.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful running R2 once again, and gets the neutral hit with the dagger L1. Oh my word!
What?
Closing it out with a one-handed R2 from distance.
Okay.
Okay, out goes the bolt. Both players going for their physics once again. Spellproof Dried Liver. Once again, very much the same. Gets 141 damage with just a few. Beautiful trade. Beautiful
Gorgeous
trade and roll
hits.
catch. That's one thing I want to point out too. The R1 neutral R1 into L1 dagger true combo into the follow-up R1 to get that roll catch is absolutely brutal. Enda coming away, wow,
Nice
and gets
jumping.
jumped on the neutral L1 though. Neutral R1 rather. So Bron is definitely adapting. He's
That was a jump attack with the
yeah.
halberd.
That was a good trade nonetheless. Oh, Bron showing that he's not afraid to jump. But that was not a favorable trade on the side of Enda there. Going for the Glintstone Pebble, dude. You love to see it. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite Ashes of War. But, oh my word. Gets broken the hit stun. Both players extremely low. Oh my word. This
Yeah,
is
he's
this
one
is
shot.
this is a clincher, folks.
Beast
Oh
roller?
my word. Yep, both players trying to find their safest way in to finish each other out, but Enda actually gets caught on the wall and gets caught for a jumping L1. Okay, out comes the bolts. We see both players going for their physic once again. Spellproof Dried Liver. It's very much the same. Okay, so now Enda, a very, very passive and reserved approach when it comes to fists because they are incredibly dangerous. Beautiful back roll, not getting roll caught by that Flame Strike. Flame Strike can be incredibly dangerous, specifically on oppressive
it's
setups
really good.
like Fist. With that lingering hitbox, it can be absolutely brutal. But we see Enda playing a little bit more passive here, and I think that is the smart play. But he has to be pretty close to getting the Frost proc here, which will put on some added pressure and
That
allow
shield on his
Enda
back,
to
that looks so funny.
yeah,
It's like sticks out
spiral
so
horn
far.
shield. Yeah. No, one thing I wanted to say,
Oh,
ooh,
no.
that was brutal. Got caught in the animation, which true combos the follow-up from Flame Strike. And this is very difficult for Enda to play in. He has to play so passive here because the Fist running attack recovery and all of the attacks on Fists, for that matter, are extremely low recovery. And just like that, rounds it out in favor. We have SpaceRanger on the right and DarkSoapp on the left. Both players going for the physics straight out of the gate and then right into the fray. Both players definitely respecting the distancing and the spacing on these players.
Wow.
Like, I think this is going to be a very much a passive match just because of the way that both of these players tend to play. Just very reserved, but I stand corrected. As soon as they were past that passive spacing game, you know, trying to
The movement
throwing
is
in
just
those
so great.
yeah. Throwing in those movement feints, you know, like the stop stuttering is impeccable, and that's one of the things that I
Beautiful jump
mentioned.
there.
Yeah, that jump in was spectacular on the side of DarkSoapp. Spaces, beautiful answer back. But the same thing on the side of DarkSoapp with that PSSS, extremely dangerous. You need to watch out for that, especially out of neutral too. Oftentimes the smartest thing that you can do, especially even against good players, is utilizing that L1 or R1 or R2, whatever it may be, out of hit stun, and it catches the vast majority of people out.
Was that R2?
Oh, the hot swap to whip on the side of DarkSoapp. That was very, very cheeky to potentially get a delayed roll catch with the running R2. Space is definitely on the back foot here. He's looking to find his way in.
Beautiful read.
That was beautiful spacing on the side of DarkSoapp, and managed to actually strafe. Is that a two-handed thrusting sword? Yes, it is. Gets the Godskin Swaddling proc. Oh, extremely dangerous. And as I mentioned in the last match, not the last match, but DarkSoapp on the left and Space on the right. Both players going for their physics once again. Going for a cheeky Frostpot on the side of DarkSoapp. Not bad. Okay, I think we're going to be seeing a very much a similar thing as what they did in the first match here. What was that? I don't know what Space just ate there, dude. But you know, he's full. He's had his lunch. He's ready to play. He's coming to play. That's good. Okay. Oh, cheeky L1 with the Ostock coming up from the side of Space here. Lands.
I don't see an effect.
Ooh, that was a
the
cheeky combo. Oh, that could have been it. Yeah, potentially.
Oh, we almost got that. That was so great.
Yeah. No, that encounter. Ooh, and catches with the backswing on the rollaway. Space was doing so well there, but just like that, in the snap of the fingers, 1,000 damage.
Was he
on the side of DarkSoapp?
That's the reason why the R2 was the way it was. These are broadswords, looks like.
Could potentially be either that or it's carrions.
No, those are banned. That's not carrions.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Carrions are long and slender and like brown. These are like thicker at the base.
Yeah, could potentially be broadswords on you, right? Yeah. Oh my word. Well, that would definitely explain the damage. Good God. Both players definitely
gonna hit harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
They trade.
Answering back, but that flame strike has been SpaceRanger's best friend this entire match. Being able to stagger out and even combo into the Ostock. Yeah, yeah. I don't believe we've seen a flame strike into R2 follow up
we haven't,
thus far in this match yet, but still much more to come here.
Yeah.
DarkSoapp definitely playing a little bit more reserved, a little bit more passive, knowing that he's low, gets caught on the halberd here. I think if DarkSoapp is going to stand a chance, he needs to answer back when Space is on aggression here. And he's realizing that too. He's throwing out those neutral L1s on the push-ins. Beautiful running R2. That was one of the attacks that actually got buffed on one-handed straight sword, which is actually a very good and consistent roll catch at this point. But the Ostock is able to round it out. He did not maintain that aggressive posturing. Okay, out goes the bolts. We have SpaceRanger on the right and DarkSoapp on the left. Went for their physics once again. This passive neutral trying to feint with movement, trying to get one player to potentially throw out an attack for a whiff punish, but that is incredibly difficult to actually capitalize on because both of these setups have incredibly low recovery. So oftentimes, like, you know, like that was the...
I'm thinking it's the liver, lightning liver.
Yeah. It has to be. I think you're right too. Yeah, lightning liver on the side of SpaceRanger. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, as I was saying, like,
go ahead.
Passivity, definitely, like, passivity was king, you know, like in the previous games, because aggression was so, like, you know, difficult to actually do because there was built-in mechanics to, like, disincentivize that, right? But in Elden Ring, that's very much not the case.
Yo,
so oftentimes
Nash.
You can throw... Oh, welcome in, Nash, dude. Oftentimes you can throw out attacks, beautiful strafing from the side of DarkSoapp there, and that is one of the things he is best at, and we see it showcased perfectly here. Beautiful flame strike, though, comboing into the off-stock hit, and catches him on the rollaway, too, with it. Trading into flame strike once again, but that true combo absolutely keeping SpaceRanger ahead here. I'm definitely seeing it here.
Wow.
My word! He was able to actually poise break.
The clean rots here.
Yeah, poise break.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, out goes the bolts. Both players going for their physic once again here.
So Space on the right.
Yes, Space on the right, DarkSoapp on the left with the PSSS. Okay, I think DarkSoapp has to be very, very careful with when he actually throws out those. And immediately, we already see SpaceRanger probing the aggression, actually getting caught on the jump away with that flame strike too. DarkSoapp being cheeky, going for that flame strike. God, that true combo is just absolutely brutal. The flame strike into the offhand clean rot and gets caught a little bit on the back foot. It's not over yet though, because if DarkSoapp is able to get into red and blue feather range, he can answer this back very, very quickly. Oh my word!
What straight swords is he using there?
The parry from the side of DarkSoapp! Oh my word! SpaceRanger got over aggressive into.
Go ahead and go.
Okay. I do not know who's where
Shieldpoke's
here.
on the left, Inservins
okay.
is on the right.
All right, beautiful. Okay, so we have Inservins on the fists and Shieldpoke on the two-handed thrusting sword. Very similar. Wow, what a roll catch on the two-handed R2 there on the side of Inservin. That was beautiful. Ooh, very cheeky. Almost caught on the flame strike there. Going for the roll catch on that neutral R2 once again, but he's getting caught with the poked and prodded with the. Wow. Okay. Wow. Just showing. Go for it. All right, we have Inservin on the right and Shieldpoke on the left. Sacred Blade going into a dodge there. Beautiful Frost Pod on the side of Inservins. Wow. Actually getting the, going for the Boiled Crab instead of going for the, Frostbolus. It's very interesting.
Has he got the octopus
It's probably
head
the
on?
smarter play. Yeah, he does. That's good, that's good. Alright, definitely more of an aggressive posturing coming out from the side of Inservins here because he knows that he can attack first and get away the vast majority of the time. Beautiful rolls on the side of Shieldpoke though, trying to answer back with those rolling R1s, ultra fast rolling R1s might I add. Beautiful jumping R1 coming in from the side of Inservin though, gets caught, but
wow,
Inservin stays in and goes for the two-handed R2 and gets the roll catch. Incredible. Really showing that even the Starfists actually do have a viable R2. Beautiful aggression, beautiful outspace on the rolling attack too on the side of Inservins. Just incredible, able to maintain that pressure and not afraid to keep up that aggression too. Inservins is just incredibly scary when it comes to beautiful outspace on that neutral R1, beautiful roll away too, a little bit over aggressing on the side of Shieldpoke there, beautiful backswing though. Catching him.
Almost got that R2, but it's kind of short, looks like.
Yeah, Shieldpoke definitely needs to be careful of the neutral R2 though, especially with how much Inservin likes to use it, because that neutral R2 is extremely dangerous, dude. It's easily like 500 damage even against the best armor in the game. Narrowly misses that. Shieldpoke's in blue and red feather range though, so he could potentially answer back, but with how easy it is for Inservins to get damage off in the form of those running R1s with little to no recovery almost, you know, it's very, very safe. And especially if he follows up with that R2 or that R1, it's really a 50-50 guessing game at that point. You have to be very, very aware of your spacing and your movement when trying to push against a competent fist user, and Shieldpoke is definitely showcasing that too here. He's playing very passive, but he's able to actually find those moments of aggression to actually get in and potentially get that damage. That was a beautiful running R1 mix-up there on the side of Shieldpoke. Unfortunately, it did not land. Beautiful poke on the side of Shieldpoke. Beautiful spacing. And as soon, I want to point this out, dude. Alright, out goes the bolts. We see the physic coming in from both players here. Sacred Blade on the side of Shieldpoke. Both players definitely a little bit more of an aggressive posturing from the side of Inservins here. But he does have to respect that that outspace from the side of Shieldpoke. It can be very, very dangerous.
So Inservins is the Starfist guy, and Shieldpoke is the thrusting sword.
Yes, yep, indeed. Yeah, no, especially after what happened in the last match, you can definitely see Inservins is way more reserved to actually go in here. And he's really, really picking his moments. But he wants to... Wow, he came out amazingly well in that trade. That was spectacular. Beautiful ring swaps from the side of Inservins here, getting his Ritual Shield and Sword Talisman back up.
So they buffed this Ash of War
damage
too, recently in one of the recent patches, so it's pretty good now.
Yeah. Sacred Blade lasts much longer. Yep. Lasts 40 seconds as opposed to the previous 20. Wow, that was beautiful. Really, and the rolling away. That was very, very well timed on the side of Shieldpoke. Wow, I think Shieldpoke is... I think he's only taken one hit, and that was in the trade exchange at the start of the match. Beautiful rolls on the side of Shieldpoke here. Yeah. He's definitely playing a little bit more reserved, but then
3 hits, 4 hits.
Wow, and then the R1 masher, dude. Hell yeah, it comes out. Okay, out goes the bolt. We get the physics from both players here. Throwing dart from the side of Inservins. Looks like Inservin swapped to two-handed thrusting sword as well. Very, very interesting. Knowing that the fists were not working against that more passive playstyle that Shieldpoke was throwing out, I think that was probably the smart play here. But all will remain to be seen.
That's
one of my
setups that I like is the two-handed clean rod or just two-handed thrusting sword in general. It's so fun.
Yeah, two-handed thrusting sword is one of the strongest setups in the game. But answering back, even on that two-handed running R2, which the poise damage got nerfed in patch 1.6, not able to break the maximum amount of poise allotted in this tournament, unfortunately. So Inservin definitely does have to be very careful with when he throws out that running R2, because if Shieldpoke is not poise chipped, then he will just be able to answer right back with a counter hit. Very, very dangerous stuff here. But
well, whoever loses here still goes to the bronze, and there is...
Agreed. And that'll be one hell of a bronze match. Beautiful, beautiful trades here.
And there's a little bit of...
And the double kill.
That's... Yeah,
second double kill of the day. That was... Go for it.
Pressed it.
All right, both physics coming out from each player's. Boiled prawn as well. And we see the buff on the side of Shieldpoke with the Sacred Blade. But we do see Drawstring Lightning Grease on the side of Inservins. So both players definitely going to be playing this very, very passive, because whoever attacks first, the other person's just going to attack right into it, you know, and get those trades.
Dark Souls 3.
Yep, pretty much. It's very similar, you know, if passive poise wasn't a thing here, it would very much be the case.
So
Inservin getting caught on that roll away.
He's got the shield on his back, guys. So you're trying to keep up with who's who.
And Inservin is definitely on the losing end of all of these trades here. Especially when it comes to the Sacred Blade lasting 40 seconds as opposed to Drawstring Lightning Grease only lasting 6 or 7, if I recall correctly. Oh my word. And Inservins is able to... Wow!
Great timing on that.
He forced the panic roll because he thought that... Okay. BronDaGoat on the right, DarkSoapp on the left.
Dual partisans.
Beautiful Frostpot to punish the... what is that? The boiled crab at the start there. That definitely gives DarkSoapp a leg up here. Definitely a little bit more of passive... an aggressive posturing coming out from the side of DarkSoapp here.
Partisan, such a
answers
great
back though.
Weapon.
It is, dude. It looks so good.
They do such a good job with the aesthetics of the weapons. Sometimes
I agree. The weapon designs in Elden Ring are very, very cool. Okay, so wow, that
damage.
Ouch, 600 damage as opposed to a 230 damage hit on the side of DarkSoapp. It was definitely not a favorable trade. He definitely needs to be a lot more wary of the aggression that he's putting out here, and needs to be extremely wary of when he goes in. That was a beautiful jumping R1. Yes, beautiful backswing on the side of the two-handed thrusting sword on the side of DarkSoapp. Definitely, wow, he's keeping Braun on the back foot here though. Definitely keeping him scared. Braun is definitely, and for good reason, right there. DarkSoapp spacing. Yeah, DarkSoapp spacing is impeccable. Gets actually a Phantom proc on the Godskin Swaddling Cloth, but not for long, as it takes 532 damage in a running L1 on the side of BronDaGoat. Both players very much respecting each other's spacing here. That was incredible aggression. Beautiful third backswing to connect there.
Wow,
oh my word.
Spacing.
Yeah, the spacing on the side of DarkSoapp and the Godskin Swaddling Cloth again, keeping him at that HP advantage here. And now Braun, looks like Braun is in red and blue feather range, potentially. So now each L1 he dishes out, instead of doing damn near 600, is going to be doing 7 to 8. Okay, doesn't look like he's actually in it yet. Maybe maybe the Blessed Dew Talisman brought him out. Oh no, he is. I don't know why that keeps disappearing. That's a very weird visual bug, potentially. Yeah, just extremely... Wow,
Oh,
what
nice
a
roll
roll
catch.
catch. Yeah, the panic roll that came out from the side of DarkSoapp there. That was...
Okay. So round 2.
Out goes the bolt, and potentially DarkSoapp on the left. BronDaGoat on the right. Okay, both players definitely trying to find their way in here. Definitely respecting each other a lot.
So
Okay, so it's BronDaGoat with PSSS and
Yeah.
DarkSoapp with two-handed thrusting sword.
yeah.
Interesting that DarkSoapp decided to stay on two-handed thrusting sword, which BronDaGoat was on PS Spears and now is on PSSS. Very, very smart on the side of DarkSoapp to go for the rot here.
Yeah, rot bundle.
Yep. Potentially, probably running Lord of Rot Exaltation.
Oh, weird.
Ooh,
I
gets
didn't even see it
caught
coming
on
out.
the
That's the
L1
jumping
again.
R1.
Beautiful, beautiful spacing to land that jumping R1. That was incredible, especially while Braun was on the back foot there too. Ooh, and out comes...
To where the
Yep.
proc is going to happen because it's been a few
Yep.
hits here.
Oh, and DarkSoapp runs in. Oh my word, but he got Scarlet Rot on him. This could potentially be the end here. If BronDaGoat goes for the bolus, DarkSoapp is ready to punish. The HP discrepancy is too large here.
He won. No, wait. I think
That
we're
was a
gonna have to
double
count
kill.
that as a draw, yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
DarkSoapp on the left and then Braun on the right.
Yes. All right. Trading a little bit of a throwing dart moment right at the start there, dude. DarkSoapp being a little bit cheeky. Oh wow. Okay, Glint Blade Phalanx with thrusting sword. That is very, very scary, especially with how adept
Ooh, nice.
DarkSoapp is at using it. That was very, very nice too. Get that free 80 damage to break the Ritual Sword and Shield Talisman.
Beautiful.
What a
Punish the
fucking
skid with the throwing
headshot!
knife and
Wow, and then the
there.
follow-up backswing too. That was incredible. I don't necessarily know if fist weapons are going to be the play from the side of BronDaGoat. It's going to be very difficult for him to actually find his way in. But as we just saw there, impeccable timing on the running R1, able to actually go in, get the poise break, and get out before he could actually be hit by the neutral R1 of the thrusting sword. But out comes the rot grease on the side of DarkSoapp, getting the backswing and the initial jumping attack. Yeah, incredible. Yes.
So that was like 4 or 5 hits.
On the panic roll. And he's got the Scarlet Rot up on BronDaGoat and absolutely bullying him with the trades. As I said at the start, go ahead and fire it off. Okay, we have BronDaGoat on the right and DarkSoapp on the left, going for some cheeky throwing darts here.
He got the throwing knife to punish the thing. That's legal.
Yep.
There is no free buff in the tournament.
Indeed. Wow, what a trade. Not as big of a discrepancy as I would have thought on the side of DarkSoapp there, but he is coming out on the losing side of these trades nonetheless. But going forward here, definitely a lot, giving a lot of space to BronDaGoat here. Wow, what a beautiful running R1.
He did rot ball us like we did here.
Yes, yep, indeed. So yeah, definitely has to work to get that. Oh, the Phantom Frost proc, that is beautiful and extremely dangerous, especially when he's going for a rot proc as well. Just double what the hell is it called? Status pressure. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Wow, and just absolutely nukes BronDaGoat. Okay, out goes the bolt. We have the physics from both the players here. We have BronDaGoat on the right and DarkSoapp on the left, of course. BronDaGoat remains on PSSS, which is very interesting considering what happened to him in the last round. But if he can play it a little bit better, I could see him potentially taking it. It's better play over setup every time, man. That's my philosophy. But we'll have to see how this goes. Definitely BronDaGoat's being way more passive because he knows DarkSoapp spacing, and how good it is. That was a beautiful running R2 for the to force the roll there. But DarkSoapp's just incredibly patient, and he's looking for those whiff punish attempts. Beautiful running R2 catch once again from the side of DarkSoapp. Just throwing out those movement feints. That's something that doesn't get said enough, That stop stutter movement, that at the highest level of play, that's peak. And DarkSoapp is doing a spectacular job showcasing it here right now. Bron is just incredibly, he's finding it very difficult to actually find a way in, but right there, that was a beautifully timed jumping L1 for 455 damage. Let's see if he can find his way in again. That's a decent trade, all things considered, but actually gets punished on the bolus and gets the backswing again, potentially at least at 25% proc. And there is the Scarlet Rot proc once again and gets punished with the running R2 yet again. Absolutely beautiful spacing and strafe on the side of BronDaGoat there. Unfortunately, it is not enough, and he is able to whiff punish once again. BronDaGoat attacking in the wrong direction. I don't know if he... Good, dude. Go for it.
Okay.
All right, BronDaGoat on the right, Inservins on the left.
Okay, here we go. Bronze match, guys.
Yep, bronze match, deciding third. Wow, okay, Inservin being very aggressive straight out the gate, going for that jumping L1, and manages to land it. Definitely forcing BronDaGoat on the back foot here. Definitely going to be very interesting. The PSSS mirror, very, very dependent upon player spacing and forcing rolls. Very, very much so. So I think that being the case, wow, beautiful, beautiful roll catch on the side of BronDaGoat, and gets the backswing as well. All the while getting a proc from, wow, beautiful trades.
Nice trade there. Oh,
the Godskin Swaddling Cloths, both procking from both players here. Namely, a little bit more so on the side of BronDaGoat, but Inservin definitely able to land a few more hits, but not without BronDaGoat being able to answer back in his own way. Continuing, oh, wow, beautiful, beautiful spacing. I'm surprised BronDaGoat was able to get away there. Maybe a little bit of latency on that. Wow, brutal.
Massive damage, holy
BronDaGoat able to answer back with 2 L1s. Absolutely insane. Inservin is definitely going to have a really tough time trying to get in and get out, especially on this latency, but BronDaGoat was able to round out the match. Inservins on the left and BronDaGoat on the right. Alright. Both players getting their physic going. A little bit of neutral back and forth with throwing daggers. Cheeky, cheeky. Okay, we get a presumably a Barbaric Roar from the side of BronDaGoat, increasing his AR significantly, especially on PSSS. Inservins needs to be very, very careful, especially while he has that buff up. Especially, like I said, on this latency, it makes it very, very difficult for him to get in and get out safely. Even going for trades is going to be incredibly difficult. Okay, that was a nice jump in L1 there, potentially. Getting some damage, but it does end up missing. Both players very much so playing a passive neutral here. Wow, that was beautiful. And the third follow-up swing, catching BronDaGoat on his aggression, going back in to potentially get a L1 of his own, but significantly being punished for it. The only damage Inservin has taken is in the form of 2 throwing daggers, I believe. So Inservin is definitely playing very, very well here. Much, much safer than before. Beautiful. Dude, those follow-up L1s that Inservin is throwing out are incredible. That's where the vast majority of his damage has come from, catching BronDaGoat with the third follow-up, because BronDaGoat definitely wants to get that that damage in with that over-aggression. But going on from the first round here, we see a significant improvement from the side of Inservins. Absolutely impeccable. As long as Inservins can maintain that that sense of like the kind of passive-aggressive playstyle, the going in and weaving out, you know, making sure to not get punished as much as he can, all the while maintaining that aggressive posturing to keep BronDaGoat on his toes.
Nice.
Beautiful Beast Roar on the side of Inservins, catching. That's something that we haven't seen from Inservins all tournament, I believe. And it definitely shows here. Going for that rolling L1, manages to actually get the proc on the Godskin Swaddling Cloth for an extra 80 HP. going for those trades, very, very difficult. Seeing Inservin's being a little bit too aggressive here and is paying the price for it with those neutral L1s from the side of BronDaGoat. But very, very difficult to actually find a safe way in. And we see the 4th double kill of the tournament, dude.
Well,
Inservin's on the left and BronDaGoat on the right. And we see the physic coming out from both players. Once again, throwing out the, wow, a buff from both players, actually. We had the Warcry on the side of BronDaGoat and the Lightning Slash buff on the side of Inservin's. So definitely trading buffs there. Very, very smart from both players. Definitely, I think we're going to see a little bit more of a passive back and forth, trying to find their way in, equalizing a lot of that aggression. Very much it's your turn, it's my turn kind of gameplay here that we're seeing. Beautiful tag, albeit with only one sword there on the jumping L1 from the side of Inservin's. Definitely keeping him on his toes. I feel like the vast majority of the damage that we're going to be seeing here is going to be coming from the follow-up attacks, just because both of these players are so well conditioned to actually the moveset, you know, of PSSS, and knowing when each player is actually going to aggress, you know. And we're definitely seeing that here. And namely, the most prominent thing we're seeing is those jumping L1s, because they're so safe, you know, able to probe that aggression and see if, you know, how the opponent is going to actually react to it. Wow, and Inservin comes out spectacularly well on the favorable side of that trade. Beautifully so. I believe Inservin only took around 200 damage and answered back with almost 500 there. So BronDaGoat definitely needs to be aware of that. And like I said, those follow-up L1s are going to be the vast majority of the damage that we're seeing here, as well as the jumping L1. And we see that trade coming out too. That was probably the most equal trade we've seen in the entirety of the set. That was very, very close jumping L1 there. From the side of BronDaGoat. Also, Inservin's trying to make his way in, being as aggressive as he can be without overcommitting, and being as how the last match went, you know, I don't blame Inservin for having a little bit more of a reserved approach when it comes to this.
God, these guys are everywhere.
Wow, and the the jumping L1 lands again. The neutral L1 from the side of BronDaGoat hitting for 487 damage. Absolutely spectacular.
So claws banned on the straight swords, guys. If you got, because we just see a lot of jumping attacks these days. So just
wow, that was beautiful. That neutral outspace and the answer back with the neutral L1 there for 510 damage. Almost gets the backswing,
what
but
swords are they using? Broadswords for Inservins, and then broadswords for BronDaGoat. Looks like they're both broadswords. Yep.
I believe so. Yeah, it's been very prevalent in the tournament thus far. Definitely playing it very passive and letting the Godskin Swaddling Cloth Phantom procs do the vast majority of the work. Wow, that was very, very close.
Very short swords.
And that's where we see the range deficit coming in with the broadswords in particular. Actually eats a half hit on the side of Inservin. Wow, beautiful roll catch on the side of BronDaGoat. Very, very scary for position for both players to be in here, because if Inservin's does land one attack, as we just saw there, nearly 700 damage on a neutral L1. It's just Inservin needs to be very, very careful with when he's pushing in, and he's able... forces another. Alright, out goes the bolt. Both players going for the physic. Looks like we have BronDaGoat on... oh no, maybe I was mistaken actually. No, it's the same. I thought Inservins had swapped to two-handed thrusting sword, but yep, very much the same thing that we were seeing. You know, the past two rounds.
Slenders.
Yeah. Okay. So he did swap, but it's still PSSS. So that little bit of extra range there. Wow, beautiful neutral L1 from the side of Inservins there. Just really showing BronDaGoat that he knows this spacing. He knows that perfect timing to actually get in and get out, you know, without actually going for a force trade. Wow, way more confident play coming out from the side of Inservins here. He's playing very much like he did in the round that he did take off of BronDaGoat earlier in this set. Very, very interesting going forward here. I think Inservins is definitely going to maintain that aggressive posturing, and if he's able to force panic rolls on BronDaGoat like he has just earlier, you know, like catching him off guard. Oh, and we got the half hit rolling attack there, or not rolling attack, the half hit neutral L1 with the on the side of BronDaGoat rather. Thrown in a little bit of a cheeky throwing dart, as it were. A little bit of an answer back from the side of BronDaGoat here. He's definitely on the aggressive approach here, but Inservin is able to actually be aware that he's under corner pressure and actually answer back with that aggression, with the over-aggression on the side of BronDaGoat. And both players going for the War Cry once again to increase the AR. Beautiful, beautiful side strafe on the side of Inservin, but a little bit too close and greedy and managed to get tagged with a neutral L1. Oh, beautiful backswing, but answers it back with a neutral L1 on the side of BronDaGoat. Wow, this is very, very even. I think this is one of the better matches that we've seen from both of the players, like play wise.
Yeah, just high latency is kind of.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and it's unfortunate, you know.
Yeah. Oh.
See, and Inservin tried to go for the trade there, but BronDaGoat was able to narrowly outspairs in the world. Go ahead and fire away. Okay, we have BronDaGoat on the right and Inservin on the left once again. Very much the same setup here, so we're probably going to be seeing a little bit. Oh man, if he could have read that that jump in and just punished with the anti-air, that would have been incredible. Wow, the backswing hit, that was insanity. Okay, Inservin needs to be very, very careful here to not get clipped by those backswings, because PSSS, that's one of the things that it is known for, that brutal backswing, and we get a half hit on the jump away.
Kept going.
Beautiful backswing, once again, like I was just saying there.
Beautiful jump.
Amazing jumping attack. Wow, the aggression coming out from the side of Inservin's he's being so unpredictable too. That was an insane roll catch. He has BronDaGoat on the back foot in every regard here.
He popped the second chance, or the Crimson World Physic is why.
Yep, exactly. Wow, Inservin just doubling down on his aggression, because he knows that's what he needs to win. No. But right there, just like that, 1,000 damage answered back. Incredibly brutal. I'm surprised that wasn't a trade. Oh my word, he just stays in!
He wins.
As we've seen.
Oh my god.
Go for it. Alright, Inservin's on the left, BronDaGoat on the right. Alright, this is the final match of the set. So whoever takes this gets, I believe, $100 for
50.
Placing in third place. Oh, 50, okay. My bad. Alright, so...
So we're giving 50 and Frosty is going to give him 50.
Right. Nah, man. Taking the money to the casino, dude.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, you were trained by Castle. Castle in the Sky trained you well.
Yup.
All right. Nobody's getting any money except for me and Frosty. Frosty and I, sorry.
Looks like BronDaGoat, I think, landed 2 L1s thus far. I'm not entirely sure. Definitely a passive neutral here. Inservin's very much being the aggressor the vast majority of the time. We've seen that all throughout this set.
So but now Inservin's is the Lionels, guys. If you wonder who's who. He's the Lionel chess piece, and BronDaGoat is the BullGoat chess piece.
Yes. Oh, okay. No, Inservin landed 2 L1s thus far, but BronDaGoat was able to answer back, especially right there, too, with a jumping L1 for 500. Absolutely brutal. The roll catch on the side of BronDaGoat, that was spectacular with the backswing. And Inservin definitely traded it back, though, with another mid-500 of his own. Godskin Swaddling Cloth proc on the side of Inservin's, getting that 80 HP back.
The Frost,
oh, the Frost pot. Oh, dude, that could be the grand equalizer. No! And BronDaGoat takes this. What a final this will be. The bolt comes out, both players going for their physics straight out the gate.
Looks like
actually,
crab.
Yeah, Shieldpoke getting Bold Crab there. That's huge going forward.
Looks like
DarkSoapp is actually on his main setup, which is Power Stance Nagakiba, and Shieldpoke is actually on Rotbird to potentially counteract the significant
he
latency that
changed
is
his name
presumably
again.
going to be the case.
So many of these.
Beautiful trade on the side of DarkSoapp. That was spectacular.
Oh, he
And that's
got
something
aim
that
punched, looks like, but he still got the hit.
Yep. That's something that Shieldpoke definitely needs to be aware of. Is those rollaways are very, very dangerous on the side of DarkSoapp, just because
he's using the rot dagger thing on his left hand.
Yep.
I can't remember what it's
the
called right now.
pure rot setup. Yep.
The
Scorpion Stinger.
I thought of it right before you said it. Yeah, Scorpion Stinger.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that's going to be good on the highlight matchup.
Especially because, wow, what a beautiful jump, but unfortunately does not get the damage off. That's something that Shieldpoke needs to be incredibly aware of, is the fact that those rolling L1s on the side of DarkSoapp are incredibly dangerous, as we just saw right there. 550 damage.
Yeah, the double.
Absolutely brutal.
So much
But
damage.
DarkSoapp has to be very, very careful here too, because what a beautiful jump. Spectacular.
Insane jump
and
roll.
insane
What the
rolling
F?
attacks on the side of DarkSoapp, but he is Scarlet Rotted right here. And
So he
the
wins.
Unsheath R2 to finish it out.
That's going to be DarkSoapp.
What a shot. And out goes the Bolt. Both get their physics. Presumably getting a Bold Crab again on the side of DarkSoapp. Interesting. Shieldpoke managed to get the Bold Crab last time, but now DarkSoapp went for it this time. So definitely a little bit of shenanigans happening here.
Nice. He's like, I see yours, and I'll raise you one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Getting ready for the casino. That was a beautiful trade on the side of Shieldpoke there. Knowing that he had the upper hand after rolling that. Wow, that jumping R1 was incredible. And the backswing, incredibly dangerous on the Nagakiba. What a spectacular jumping L1 on the side of DarkSoapp for 700 damage. And neutral L1s trading out the halberd and the dagger. My word, what a showing. Incredibly dangerous, but is able to roll it. Shieldpoke is playing extremely well in his zoning and his ability to actually outspace these.
His Crimson roll is gone. So.
Yep. Both players very much on even footing when it comes to
he got it.
HP. Wow. And DarkSoapp again with that jump.
So I think he's ready. That was the little bell.
And here we go, dude. Two-handed thrusting sword. Looks like I was indeed right. And the Mushroom Crown, so potentially Rot Grease coming out on the side of Shieldpoke, yes, on the two-handed thrusting sword. So I think he'll potentially have an easier time applying Scarlet Rot, not necessarily hitting. Well, I stand corrected.
That's interesting.
There it was.
He goes for the boiled crab instead of the meat.
Agreed, yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not saying it's the wrong call at all.
Right.
You know.
Ooh, and the Scarlet Rot's there. This is very, very, very cheeky.
So does that R2 to get him out of there so he has a little room to...
Beautiful. Oh, and gets tagged on the bolus punish. Very unfortunate. Yep.
I knew that's what that move was for.
DarkSoapp potentially could have a way, way tougher time actually punishing this two-handed thrusting sword as opposed to Rotbird, because away goes his ability to actually land consistent jumps because you're not going to be stuck in the animation for as long.
The unsheath.
Yeah. That was incredible. It's very, very difficult for DarkSoapp to actually find an in here, but the Unsheath R1 comes out, but the over-aggression on the side of Shieldpoke is able to round it out. He goes for the parry!
2 parries.
And misses it. It seems like, yeah, Shieldpoke was aware, he was ready for it. He knew what happened to it. Okay, out comes the physic from both players here. Potentially, Oh, and he's able to tank the Frost Bolus. That is a huge advantage on the side of... Oh, he actually got the Phantom Proc on the cold there. So that is an equalizer, even though Shieldpoke managed to... Wow, actually comes ahead in the trade there with the neutral L1s. Wow, almost lands, nearly lands the Unsheath R2 roll catch too on the Nagakiba.
Beautiful running there.
Oh my word. DarkSoapp is playing so well here, but stayed in a little bit too long on that in particular.
He's gonna get the thing. He's
And the
gonna
running
roll.
R2. Oh, he escaped it! Nice!
He got the roll.
Into the rolling attack for 506 damage on the side of DarkSoapp. That was
So
a
he's doing good now.
spectacular
He can
hard
win.
read. Yeah, to be able to bolus perfectly timed on that front. Wow, incredible jumping R1s to maintain pressure there. Getting out, making sure to maintain that distance. Gets caught with the running R2 though. Very dangerous here. Scarlet Rot is building,
almost
going
got
for the
it.
Unsheath R1, very close. And gets
Oh, this is
backswinged
bad.
into the Rot proc. Doesn't get caught by Flame Strike, surprisingly. Oh my word, the jumping 01 for 400 damage.
No, he missed.
Misses.
Wait.
No!
Oh my god, so close. Holy
And that's
smokes.
2. DarkSoapp on the left, Shieldpoke on the right. Both players going for their physic. Potentially
There's
both going
the
for the boiled
crab.
crab too. I don't think Shieldpoke went for the boiled crab. Very smart to go for the
Glintstone scraps.
yeah, Glintstone scraps there. That was very well done. Incredible roll by the side of DarkSoapp there. Getting very close to the Phantom proc here. Bolus
Scraps is like one of my
incoming.
favorite things in this
Beautiful.
game for duels.
Yeah, I agree. It's great at forcing. Wow! DarkSoapp with the aggression. Coming out ahead. Incredible damage. That Unsheath R2 was beautiful. Wow, that perfect spacing on the side of
Excuse me.
Shieldpoke there. Narrowly outspacing that rolling L1. Very dangerous spot for DarkSoapp to be in right now with the Scarlet Rot already dealing over 100 damage. He's going to have to be very careful with when he decides. What a jump! Incredible!
Oh, he missed the second one. That's so
No, and the
strange.
Scarlet Rot rounds out the 5th match.
Okay, you said yes, so let's do it.
That is very true. It's 2-3 in favor of Shieldpoke here.
So it could be the last one.
Could be, yep.
Shieldpoke, I mean, he was down 0-2 and then did...
Beautiful trade. My word. 200 to 700. That was incredible. Wow, the Unsheath on the side of DarkSoapp into
Massive
500
damage.
with the crouching L1, but the R1 spam keeps coming out from the side of Shieldpoke. Very dangerous here. DarkSoapp potentially going for the Rot Bolus, but
wins.
baits out the neutral R1 from the side of Shieldpoke. Out goes the bolts. Both players physicking up, potentially going for a boiled crab once
Yeah.
again from both players. See the throwing dagger from the side of DarkSoapp, just kind of playing around with it, trying to see if he can get some cheeky damage in. DarkSoapp needs to be very careful here. Definitely doesn't want to give
weird, he didn't
Shieldpoke
hit him
the
there.
damage lead. Yeah, perfect outspacing from the side of Shieldpoke there. Beautiful strafe from the side of DarkSoapp. Both players playing very safe, trying to find their way in. Beautiful trades. It looks like that is indeed what DarkSoapp is doing, is going for those trades with the Rot proc Exaltation. Trying to find his ideal way in. This is very dangerous. Oh, and catches him with the running R2, trying to go for the... Alright, and there is the proc. Beautiful jumping L1 from the side of DarkSoapp. This is very cheeky, guys. DarkSoapp needs to be very careful. He needs to get that Rot proc off of him
Beautiful
in order
running.
to... Oh, and he goes for the parry. Oh my word. I'm at a loss for words. Oh no. And the rolling attack into the dodge and gets caught with the running R2. And that is Shieldpoke